Hello Bluebirds, next chapter, and it's called Still Friday. He nailed up the cat flap. Would you believe this man? He comes down the stairs in the morning, and before he's even out of his pyjamas, he's set to work with a hammer and a nail. Bang, 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 bang. I'm giving him the stare, I really am. But then he turns round and speaks to me directly. There, he said, that'll fix you. Now it swings this way. He gives the cat flap a hefty shove with his foot, but it doesn't swing this way, and sure enough, when the flap tries to flap back in, it couldn't. It hit the nail. So, he said to me, you can go out, you're free to go out, feel free in fact, not only to go out, but also to stay out, get lost or disappear forever. But should you bother to come back again, don't go to the trouble of bringing anything with you, because this is now a one-way flap, and so you will have to sit on the doormat until one of the family lets you in. He narrows his eyes at me, all nasty-like. And woe betide you, Tuffy, if there's anything dead lying waiting on the doormat beside you. Woe betide you, what a stupid expression. What on earth does it mean anyway? Woe betide you, woe betide him. I hate Saturday morning. It's so unsettling, all that fussing and door banging, and have you got the purse, and where's the shopping list, and do we need any more cat food? Of course we need cat food, what else am I supposed to eat all week? Air? They were all pretty quiet today. Ellie was sitting at the table carving Thumper a rather nice little gravestone over a half left over cork tile, and it said, Thumper, rest in peace. You mustn't take it round next door yet, her father warned her. Not till they've told us that Thumper's dead anyway. Some people are born soft. Her eyes brimmed with tears. There goes next door now, Ellie's mother said, looking out of the window. Which way is she headed? Towards the shop. Good, if we keep well behind, we can get Tuffy to the vet's without bumping into her. Tuffy? Vets? Ellie was even more horrified than I was. She threw herself at her father, beating him with her soft fists. Dad, Dad, no, you can't. I put up a far better fight with my claws. When he finally prized me out of the dark of the cupboard under his sink, his woolly jumper was ruined and his hands were scratched and bleeding all over. He wasn't very pleased about it. Come out of there, you great fat furry psychopath. It's only a flu jab you booked in for, more's the pity. Would you have believed him? I wasn't absolutely sure, and neither was Ellie, so she tagged along. I was still quite suspicious when we reached the vet. That's the only reason why I spat at the girl behind the desk. There was no reason on earth to write handle with care on the top of my case notes. Even Thompson's Rottweiler doesn't have handle with care written on the top of his case notes. What's wrong with me? So I was a little rude in the waiting room. So what? I hate waiting. And I especially hate waiting stuffed in a wire cat cage. It's cramped and hot and it's boring. After a few hundred minutes of sitting there quietly, anyone would start teasing their neighbours. I didn't mean to frighten the sick little baby gerbil half to death. I was only looking at it. It's a free country, isn't it? Can't a cat even look at a sweet little baby gerbil? And if I was licking my lips, which I wasn't, that's only because I was thirsty. Honestly, I wasn't trying to pretend I was going to eat it. The trouble with baby gerbils is they can't take a joke, and neither can anyone else around here. Ellie's father looked up from the pamphlet he was reading called Your Pet and Worms. Ooh, nice, very nice. Turn the cage round the other way, Ellie said. Ellie turned my cage round the other way. Now I was looking at Fisher's Terrier, and if there's any animal in the world who ought to have handle with care written on the top of his case notes, it's the Fisher's Terrier. OK, so I hissed at him. It was only a little hiss. You practically had to have bionic ears to hear that. And I did growl a bit. But you'd think he'd have a head start on growling. He's a dog after all. I'm only a cat. And yes, OK, I spat a bit, but only a bit. Nothing you'd even notice unless you were waiting to pick on someone. Well, how was I to know he wasn't feeling very well? Not everyone waiting for the vet's actually ill. I wasn't ill. Actually, I've never been ill in my life, and I don't even know what it feels like. But I reckon if I were dying, something furry locked in a cage would make an incy-wincy noise without me ending up whimpering and cowering and scrambling to get under the seat to hide behind the knees of my owner. More of a chicken than a Scotch terrier, if you want my opinion. Could you please keep that vile cat of yours under control, Mrs. Fisher said nastily. Ellie stuck up for me. He's in a cage.